So as I said before, this fall we're going to focus on obviously getting our yearlings in, which we've done, getting them broke, getting them jogging, highlight them the way we do to everybody else. I need to make it abundantly clear to everybody. If you've noticed, I haven't been pushing the shares, selling them the way that I would generally, speaking about buying this horse, reaching out to people to fill groups. The reason being, I wanted to get back to our mandate a little bit this fall. Now, when the stable started, we want to do two things. First thing I wanted to do was be able to make a living in this industry, because I love this industry. Keep in mind, as a driver, things were going to get tough for me. The industry had condensed a little bit, and I had to step away from a lot of my duties when I was in politics for 2.5 years. So for the most part, those I could have got those clients, if you will, back, I suppose, but it would have taken some work. And through my time in politics, I realized that something that not a lot of people get to realize outside of this industry, and that there's more to life than this industry. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I love horse racing, and I love my time I spent as a catch driver for the better part of 2 decades. But now that I have a family, and I got to interact with people outside the industry, I realized that there is a lot more to the world than horse racing. And many of you know that because you're new clients to the industry, or returning clients from a hiatus, if you will. And you love the industry too, or you wouldn't be involved. Sure, it's fun, but you have to have a love for this sport, right? A love for the horses. And the draw for many of you that weren't in horse racing is the affordability of it. It's not cheap, but it's not expensive. And when you compare it, as I've said this a million times, when you compare it to hockey, football, basketball, baseball, mainstream sports pricing, and that's based on one day. We stretch it for as long as you want to. It's really not comparable. I mean, horse racing in this form, in this capacity, in this way, is really the most affordable, and I hesitate to say the word cheapest, but it's the most affordable entertainment that I can think of. Now, obviously, I'm a little biased. I'm in horse racing, but you can't go bowling on a regular basis for what you can own a horse and be a part of the stable.ca for. So I don't have to tell you guys this. So, as back to what I said, my original mandate was, 1, to be able to make a living in this industry, and 2, bring people into the industry. I could see, from a governmental standpoint, from outside the industry, I got to see what was taking place. From the eyes of a regular person, our memberships were shrinking. Our horse population was shrinking. Our racetrack operations were shrinking. So what I mean is, for me in Ontario, I watched Woodstock close, Sudbury close, Windsor close, Sarnia close, open. I always had one foot in the grave and whatnot. I'm sure there's more. It was just a sad time. So I got to see what was taking place from the standpoint of a regular person, because I stood on their doorsteps and talked to them. And I would always hear the same thing. I've never been to the races. I don't know much about horse racing. It's really expensive to own a horse. These are things that we tried to tackle at the stable. Most importantly, the cost of getting involved in ownership, the billing, making it streamlined, and the accessibility to the stable. These were 3 things, 3 mainstays that we had to tackle. These were the hurdles that we had that weren't that hard to fix, really. Fast forward 5 years later, we have 730 some clients, 120 or 30 horses. A lot of interest, a lot of eyeballs on what we do, and they should be, because this industry is, as I said, the most affordable entertainment in society. I believe it is. So the next thing was to bring people in. We brought all the people in, kept bringing people in. Now, last year, we had groups of people that bought up chunks of horses, because, as you know, as being clients of ours, the secondary markets, it can be pretty aggressive. So we have a lot of people doing that. Share sales were good, and if you look at right now, in real time, if you will, I think we have less than 200 shares available on any horse over a year old publicly from me, from the stable, and I'm going to fix that also. That'll be 0 at some point. So I think we've allowed people to settle in pretty comfortably. Now, this year, I looked at the growth of the stable. First year, 30, 40, 50 clients, I'm like pumped. Second year, it's well over 100. I'm like, Jesus, this is cool. Third year, we get up over 200, closing in on 3, and we had to implement thestableca.com. It was just too much for a notebook or for a layman like me to do on a computer or a laptop. It's a spreadsheet. I couldn't do it. So I could, but it was the labor intensiveness was incredible. My wife was borderline having a stroke, and and I was up 35 hours a day, it seemed like. So we implemented the back end of the site. You guys can see it changes almost weekly, monthly. We implement new things, and now that we have Kelly and Scott involved, there's just so much cool stuff in there. It's cool, but it's expensive for me, and obviously expensive for all of us. I guess spread over everybody, it's not that bad. So it's sustainable is what I'm getting at, and it's scalable. So the price of doing business for the stable will go up as we bring more people on, but again, with the amount of people coming on, we can work with that. But the thing I noticed, as I said, was it slowed, right? We're at 730. If you look at the explosion of year 2 and 3, you would think we'd be at 1,500 owners by now. The biggest problem we have is product, right? Sure, you guys are out there and you're buying shares in these horses. You're our clients, and we love to have you here. This is a community we built, and we're proud of it and thankful for it. But it's starting to become a closed community, right? Because I can only buy so many horses. I only have enough capital, and we're lucky enough. You guys have all figured it out. Hey, how did Anthony buy these horses if he's not selling all the shares? Because we have clients that have put up capital to buy the shares with us. That's how. And we allow them to do that and are very, very thankful. The stable couldn't grow if it wasn't for these clients. You know who you are. The stable couldn't be the stable, and the stable couldn't grow without you. So what we did this year, as I said, we needed to focus on product. So rather than buying horses at the sale and pushing people to buy them and reaching out to people and emailing them and saying, hey, would you like to get involved? This is what I like about the horse. I sent you videos. I sent generic emails, but I didn't target anybody. I didn't send an email to 10 people other than the racehorse. I didn't send an email to 10 people and say, hey, have a look at this horse. You had luck with this horse, or this is what you appear to like. This horse might fit what you're looking for. Instead, what we did was let it sit. And this fall, starting, I would say, just before the open house in the next couple of weeks, I'd like to really aggressively get into marketing the stable again to where it grew to begin with in the general public, for 2 reasons. One, I want to bring more clients in. The more clients we bring in, the more aggressive that secondary market gets, and the more fun it is for us. It seems like the more clients we have, the more it makes me happy, for 2 reasons. One, because it reaffirms that we have a model that people are interested in, and it brings confidence to us. 2, and most importantly, it allows the industry to grow. And in a day and age when social media is king, having people out there on Facebook and Twitter talking about the stable and what we're doing and how we're doing it and how it affected them, it's important for the industry. So I want to make sure that we are able to grow. And to grow in that manner, we need product. We need things to sell. Those are shares. So I opted to step back from aggressively selling all the horses this fall for now and focus on marketing and advertising to the general public, because we want people to come in. We want new clients. Not just for us, we do, but we also need them for the industry, right? It's great that the stable's this huge entity, but if it's saturated and it's done growing, okay, now what? So we needed those shares on the site to allow new people that may have never thought of horse racing or may have been disenfranchised with horse racing or stepped away to look at those horses and say, geez, that's a nice horse. That's a nice horse. I like that horse's breeding. I like the way that horse moves on the video, because that's how you got joined up, right? If you're watching this, for the most part, That's how you came back into the fold, so to speak, with horse racing. So that's the plan for this fall, is to focus heavily on marketing and advertising into the general public, not just through Facebook and Twitter. That's a low-hanging fruit, you know, and I don't mean that it's easy, because it's not. Kelly and Scott do a great job. For those of you who don't know, Scott McNair is the other half of Kelly's company, and they do a great job, and focusing on, they got a real good handle on focusing on the internet, focusing on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, but at the same time, there's a big world out there also, one right in front of us, and we need to focus on all facets of getting back into society. I would like to, and I want to turn 738 active clients into 1,000 by next June. I said that last year, and it didn't happen. It will happen this year. I guess next year, simply because I know we can grow the stable. I know how we can grow it, because I've already done it once. We're going to focus on doing it again. So for those of you out there saying, geez, there's a lot of shares out there, there is a reason for that. So when it comes to horses, please don't let that stop you from buying shares in any horses. But at the same time, you know how the stable works now, and I would expect everybody to budget accordingly, so that they're not in a bad place. We do have a lot of really, really good horses, a lot of well-bred horses, a lot of interesting horses. I saw them all on the track yesterday. The newest horses to come to the stable will be arriving this week. They'll be broke. We're looking to have a drone session for you guys this Friday, I believe. And then, obviously, there'll be a little tiny lull leading up to the open house on December 15th. We have a couple of interesting notes, press releases, if you will, that will be coming up also this coming week. But for now, I want to take things easy and focus on the stable.ca. Focus on the mandates that we were built upon, the principles, the pillars, and understand that, yes, we have a massive community, the biggest community in horse racing, but that community wasn't meant to stop at 730 something. It was meant to continue to grow. I've said there's no problem with scalability and sustainability. Well, let's put that to the test. So over the next 7 months, we will be working very, very diligently and very hard on reaching out and bringing new clients into the fold. So that's the scoop on the stable. That's a scoop on what we're trying to do and how we are planning on doing it. We do have a lot of racehorses in place also. I think we've made some key purchases. Some of our horses have really turned up and showed up. White Tiger, the other day I thought he should have won, but he's teetering on becoming a better version of himself, a much better version than he's been. Still a more watered down version of what he was at 2. So we're expecting the 3- and 4-year-old White Tiger to catch up to and surpass the 2-year-old White Tiger. And what I see is a horse trying to do that. First Over Grind the other day was not his forte, yet he handled it quite well. Stonebridge Simba, again, he's been up and down. If he needs a little rest, we'll give him a little rest, but I think there's a horse that's going to be a good horse for us in 2020. Yes, goes without saying, Irv Miller come up to me at the sale the other day and said, hey, that horse could be a really good horse at Yonkers. I said, well, Irv, he does hold the world record on a half-mile track for geldings at 3, so yeah, I would agree. He has the potential to be a good horse. He said, no, he could be an expensive horse, like a real good horse. I said, I know, that's why you have him. That's why he's there. For those of you out there, and I've mentioned this in another video, saying, hey, when's he going to get rested? He'll get rested when he's tired. I plan for all our 4-year-old trotters to start mid-summer, and I want them all fresh for the latter part of 2020. Same thing we did with Cruising in Style. Last year, it's worked out very well. You just don't want those 3-year-olds. You know, it's tough to graduate from the 3-year-old, 4-year-old division, both Pacers, Trotters, Fillies, and Colts. It's a big jump. It's a big jump. Now you get the floaters off and you're the deep end of the pool. We don't want to be drowning. And the transition has to be done properly, in my estimation. And I think Cruising in Style is exactly how it's supposed to be done. And we will be looking to do the same type of thing for, yes, Stonebridge Simba. Also, our newest acquisition, Cavill Hanover. All those horses on that list, I always know I'm missing someone, and I apologize. Even a horse like West 52nd, same type of thing. We're going to allow these horses to grow into the horses they're meant to be, and I'm so very happy to be looking at what we have in 2019, which looks to be the polar opposite of what we had at the end of 2018, which is exactly what I... Who the hell's this guy? Oh, thank you. That's pretty cool. Getting packages delivered on Sunday. Hope it's not a bomb. Yeah, it appears to be the exact opposite of what we had at 2018. You know, when you step back and look at it in hindsight, which I hate to do, but truthfully, you need to, especially if you want to learn. You look at 2018, we had a lot of horses coming back we were hoping would be better than they really were equipped to be. And it was a devastating 2018-2019 winter-spring season, which looks to be the opposite of what we're looking at right now. So a little update on what we're trying to do for the winter, just to clarify for you, whether you're one of our clients or whether you just watch these videos. I know a lot of people out there are not our clients presently that do watch those videos, because they come up to me all the time at the sales and tell me so. If you're crunching numbers or you're a business guy and you're saying, see, way too many shares left, it's for a reason. So that's it. That's what's going on for this fall and winter. This is why things are moving in the manner they're moving, and they will continue for the foreseeable future. We have a couple of big announcements, as we usually do, leading up to the open house. Kelly's working on a lot of cool stuff, as am I. And I hope that everybody turns out. So it is going to be December the 15th. Hopefully it's, well, I doubt it's going to be much cooler than it is right now. It's cold right now in Ontario. So December 15th, we should have the better part of 60 to 70 yearlings going out. We were toying with the idea again this year of having a 2-day event, but sadly Curtis can't make it back until the Sunday. In fact, he's not back till late Saturday. He was actually worried that he may not be able to do everything perfectly, but I know Curtis, and everything will be done right, as it usually is. So it is a December 15th day. We're looking at potentially having, actually give us some feedback. We're looking at potentially having a barbecue or just having food catered in. We'll have donuts and coffee, as we always do, and lots going on for that weekend. So a lot going on this fall and winter, a lot going on leading up to the open house, and then by the looks of our roster and the horses getting ready to go, should be a pretty cool winter for all of us here at thestable.ca. So there you have it, a little update on our operating model for fall winter 2019-2020. Take care.